Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosie Psychic Investigator. Hello, huh. Everybody, welcome. Rosie Psychic Investigator. So I hope you're doing well, guys. It's Sunday, March 15th, 3:42 p.m. local time. And I'm doing a subject that I wanted to do for a few days. And it's about our favorite man, Jared Kushner. My name is Jared. Yes. And there's a lot to discuss here. I am starting with an article that came out in the New York Times about Jared and his fundraising efforts in the Middle East while this whole thing is going on. So I was like, wow, I can't believe the guy. I mean, I can't believe it. It's just the bombs are falling and he's asking for money from these countries. So, so that's the basis. That's just a start. And I have outlined the questions. I have many questions. So let's get started. But before we do that, let's ask for protection. I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of lights coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I go to a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only the good, and so it is. Jared Kushner solicits funds for his firm while working as a Mideast envoy. President Trump's son-in-law is trying to raise $5 billion or more from foreign governments and others for his private equity firm. Mr. Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, has spoken with potential investors in recent weeks about raising $5 billion or more for Affinity Partners, his investment firm, according to 5 people with knowledge of the talks who were not permitted to speak publicly about the discussions. As part of the fundraising efforts, Affinity's representatives have already met with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which invests the proceeds of the kingdom's vast oil reserves. 2 of the people briefed on the discussion said PIF is led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who has formed close ties with Mr. Kushner and the Trump administration. PIF, which is already the largest and earliest investor in Affinity, invested $2 billion soon after the first Trump administration ended. And here I just want to show you this first paragraph that contractually the Saudis do have first refusal, the right to first refusal. And then on this third paragraph here, just to remind you, refresh you what he's been doing related to the war. So the efforts show the blurring of the lines between public service and private profit seeking during Mr. Trump's second term. Only a few weeks ago, in his role as Mr. Trump's quote unquote peace envoy, Mr. Kushner met in Geneva with Iran's foreign minister. The U.S. and Israeli bombing campaign in Iran began shortly after those meetings concluded without a deal on Iran's nuclear program. So that's where we are with this person. So the question is, what is going on with Jared? Oh, sorry, something here. What's going on with Jared Kushner raising money from the Middle East for his Affinity Partners firm now that the Iran war is going on? Will he raise the money he wants? So what is going on with that for Jared? So I see that he is these documents have been sent, and the people that are responsible for this fund, the foreign fund or something. Of course, NBS is the head of it, but he doesn't do any of the email, the admin stuff. So first he sends the information to them, and they all have had to move from those offices because not everything, but some places are getting bombed, even in Saudi Arabia. And they tell Jared, okay, well, we're just going to need a little bit of time because, as you know, what's happening. And he says, "Oh, okay, I understand. It's temporary. That all of that is temporary." And they are themselves under shock from what's happening. I don't think anybody over there expected this, right? That Iran would attack them, well, number one. And number two, the weird cavalier attitude of Jared. Like, okay, well, oh, I understand what's going on, but at the end of the day, I am Jared. And if you want something later from us, you understand how your bread is buttered, right? You understand that I don't care if bombs are falling or not. At the end of the day, we are partners. So, okay, like I mean, he doesn't care that the bombs are falling, and I think I pick up that those people are like kind of, again, they're under shock. Okay, not to say that they're like, oh, angels or anything, but it's human, right, to be shocked as these things are happening, and that they're processing everything that's happening, and there's and after the fact they're like, what the hell, the guy doesn't even ask how you're doing, or how, like, he doesn't express any, like, care. Even, if you think about it, these people are the source of his money, right? You would think he would be nicer to them, or act like he cares about them, or has concerns for them, but he doesn't do that. So they're just like slowly processing, and then ask for more time. Ask for more time. That's what I was saying. I got interrupted. So going back here, it's just that they are shocked and they ask for delay. So this is the picture now, but let me specify then the last part of the question. Will he raise the amount of money he wants? Like, whether it takes something, because it doesn't usually, is not like instant, right? But it's like, is even if it takes longer, is he going to raise the money he wanted? So I see that as time progresses, those people are scared, right, in their country, and they have to review their income situation, because since the money that the PIF, the Public Investment Fund, come like the money comes from oil, as some of their oil facilities are under attack, they have to review. And they say that's something they always do. So they have to review how much money they actually have. And now that they're doing this, they're like, "What, we can't." And I see in the background that Jared keeps asking, and they're like, "We need more time," blah, blah, and then blah 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 blah. Right, and then I see Trump falling, and Jared at first still calls them like, "But I have to close my fund. You understand that if you'd like to do business later, you're gonna need me." And then they hang up the phone in front of his face. So the answer is no. As I say, I don't think he will raise all the $5 billion that he wants. And I think also the way that this was leaked to the press was, I think it comes from them saying, "Look at this guy. Are you freaking kidding me?" Right? Because they're not, Jared Kushner, I see, is not helping them get more defense more, right? Arms or anything like that. Because even in their culture, like, okay, we'll give you so much, you're supposed to give us something. But Jared is not doing that right now. He's only using them, and they think it's egregious. So I feel like even if the war does end in the relatively near future, they're going to have a lot to rebuild. And that is not, Jared Kushner's fund is not their main concern, and it shouldn't be, right? So the fact that she doesn't even pretend to care about them is a big red flag. So let's go to the other questions. So next question: how do the governments of Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar feel about Jared raising money from them while they are under attack from Iran? Something that Jared is responsible for, at least indirectly speaking. Will they actually give Jared the money he's looking for while their country burns? I feel like I got the answer for the last part, which I don't think they will give all the money he wants, or the most significant part of the money, right? So But my question is, how do I think I also addressed this, but I really want to know the details. Like, how do they feel about Jared raising money from them? And also the fact that it's like well, how do they feel about it? It's saying very transactional, of course, but the heartlessness is really shocking given how much Jared owes to them. They're saying, well, we understand he is the government official, the family member we have to reach out to in order to do business. But his arrogance is astounding given that the defense they promised us hasn't materialized. Everything has gone wrong and they look like idiots. And we are ourselves under a lot of threat from our own people because how could we have had Americans around and trusted them when they're bombing us? So does it change? It's saying yes, they become very hesitant going forward about investing or giving money to people in this current government. But I feel like again the situation here is on very shaky ground. So I don't feel like they're not in the position to make a decision, a big decision, and they will decide to stop giving money to a lot of American investment and slash causes. Now, another thing that I got too, which is so funny because I have a several apps on my computer. One of them is the one I use for making notes and all kinds of things. It's called Day One, and this one has a list of past questions. And one I had here was Oracle. Remember Oracle and David Allison, and famously, David Allison is taking money. Like I think the Saudis or the UAE, somebody's contributing to the issue with they're trying to buy Warner, right? And I guess Netflix has dropped out, but I feel like they will drop out. And this whole thing. So what is going to happen? Is it's possible that this may even may even stop the whole merger thing from happening. Okay, one of the reasons. There's many more, but because I think that they will walk back. They're not going to want to do that, right? Given that they're in trouble now, these countries, and given how little the Trump government has given them, right? Relative to what they gave. So, so that's the answer. Then I want to know really more information about the exact role Jared Kushner played in getting the US involved in the Iran war. It's showing me the meeting that Jared had with the Iranians and how he was like, well, you have to give us our oil and you have to do this and that and like ridiculous things and so arrogant. And they said no. And then he walked away and then he was telling Trump that that was the right thing to do. And some people were against it because they knew the reality of it. But Jared, again, he does not care because he feels like the consequences never hit him. I mean, really, they don't so far. So that's right. And he celebrates with Bibi. That's right. So I think it's ultimate, guys. This is not a secret that Jared is Bibi Netanyahu's godson. So what does that tell you? Well, he works for Bibi more than he works for the U.S. And I feel like he doesn't even consider the U.S. at all. Like it's about what's good for him, his pockets, and his family, essentially, right? So that's it. The U.S. is just a tool. So so that's that. Then the next question is Jared Kushner is involved in some of the most egregious corruption deals in this administration. The Gaza peace plan, the Iran war, the Russia Ukraine peace plan. Will he ever go to prison? It's getting ridiculous, right? It's like, I don't know. I mean, he didn't get, nothing happened, right, to him in after the first administration. Will something happen here? Because the amount of crimes, it's like exponentially increased. And what can we even say about this guy? It's beyond. Okay, so will there be prison for him? No, I see here that again the arrogance is astounding. He's like, oh, da 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 da, right? Do this, and I do. He does whatever he wants. He's unqualified. He is not that smart, but he gets. So he thinks he's a genius, right? Because he gets what he wants. Has gotten what he wanted thus far. Then I see in the future this image of him wearing a gray uniform, a prison uniform in one of those high security prisons. And whatever comes next as a government here in the US has to arrest him and treat him like the egregious treasonous whatever high level crime criminal he is, and right, because again he has shared so much secure information with enemies. He has caused so much of he has made so much money from this. So again, his attitude at first is like, you think you're dealing with? No, I'm not going to talk. But so then finally the Jared Kushner is treated as the enemy, foreign domestic. It's like I'm not going to say that he's necessarily at ADX Florence, but one of those types of prisons because he has betrayed the country, he has sold national secrets, he has enriched himself and his family. He could have even gotten some people indirectly killed because of he gave the names of CIA assets, right? And it's like nothing, again, clearly, whatever the justice we had before wasn't working because how the hell is it possible that somebody like him has been outside of prison? Oh, he's been like walking freely all this time. There's something very wrong with the justice system, really, because these are the most egregious types of crimes, in my opinion, personally, worse than anything, because you're harming millions of people. Okay, so will he ever go to prison? That's right. Yeah. It shows me that as Trump leaves, then the next stage is him going down. I feel like a lot of people, even the MAGA people, want him to go down. But I feel like they fear the whole connection with Ivanka. I'm sorry. And only when the real truth of Trump is out and he's out of the government completely can something be done that is more serious. Although I feel like he will be arrested soon after Trump falls. Okay, and what about his investment firm? What's going to happen? It's saying it will go into administration because it's so corrupt, right? The government has to, unless it will take control of it, or because it's just because it's considered it's like money laundering or it's a criminal thing, so it will have to collapse. It's saying that the government will take it over or appointed somebody to take it. Doesn't make sense. It's sort of like and it's saying it could be because it's involved in crime, it could be taken over again, and the money is returned to the government and some of the investors. But the thing is so complicated because it's part of the whole treason pattern and all those things that basically I don't think you'll have access to this money down the line. Okay. And they will have to return money to investors and so forth. So it shows me these loan auctions for some of the things related to this, but well, that's the story here. Okay, so and it shows me that once he's arrested, he's not leaving. I think he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison once the actual prosecutions start for good. Not in the we don't want to be not we don't want to be partisan kind of thing in the new era. Let's just say it. Okay, so okay, all right. So I'm gonna go for now, and I'll see you soon. See you later, maybe. Thank you for watching, guys. Okay, okay, bye.